Okay, I already know that there are going to be some people who've seen the title of this video and have already clicked out of pure anger, and hey, this is a safe space. No matter what you want to say about Harry Potter, about people still liking Harry Potter in 2026, J.K. Rowling, any thoughts, the rants that you want to have, leave them in the comments. This is a safe space. We promote free speech over here. But this isn't the first time I've talked about the HBO and the Harry Potter of it all. Okay, my first video that was commentary on this channel this year was comparing the HBO Max trailer to the original trailer for Philosopher's Stone from 2001. So I am no stranger to talking about this franchise on my channel, and I will continue to talk about it. Not only will I continue to talk about it, hang on a minute, let me get this up. But when the HBO series does actually come out, me and my boyfriend Justin will be doing a review on every episode on this channel, which is the Media Illiterates podcast, which is our podcast channel where we talk about movies. So if you're unaware and that's your thing, go and subscribe to that. The link is in the description. But yeah, today, as you can see from the title, today we're going to be talking about Nicholas Hoult being cast as Gilderoy Lockhart in season 2, which are obviously going to be the not Stranger Things, Jesus fucking Christ, the Chamber of Secrets series of the HBO Max remake of the Harry Potter series, right? You know, we already know, all right? And obviously, there's going to be a lot of mixed discourse. I feel like there has been with literally every cast announcement that's been happening, okay? Who was it? The woman who's playing Aunt Petunia came out and basically was like, I don't give a shit. I love Harry Potter and it means a lot to me, so I'm still here and I'm very proud to be part of this series. Basically, obviously coming against people who were trying to say, like, how dare you be part of this HBO series, blah, blah, blah. Listen, again, this is a safe space. We promote free speech. Leave whatever comments you want in the comments, okay? You know, this is partially why I'm making these videos, because I want to gauge what people's thoughts are on all of this. Again, I think having a healthy debate and discussion about all of this, especially with something that, in my opinion, okay, and here's my thoughts on Harry Potter. And just to say, I am wearing my Gryffindor t-shirt today. I am still a Potterhead and will be till the day I die. As much as, obviously, J.K. Rowling is who she is, and it, you know, obviously we have thoughts about that. I don't necessarily agree with the way that she's been conducting herself, but hey, it's a free country. She has the freedom and right to have whatever opinion she wants. And in terms of Harry Potter, here's how I view it. When people ask what culturally Britain brings to the world, okay, in terms of pieces of literature and media, and as I say, like, culture, Harry Potter is one of the biggest things that I can mention as absolutely this is what is like a landmark in our nation. That goes along things like Lord of the Rings, and Paddington and things like that. The Chronicles of Narnia, things like that, where it's like big franchises, especially like fantasy franchises, that we can bring forward as a nation and be like, here, James Bond as well, you know, we all remember, well, most of us will remember. To be fair, I think my audience is in the age group where we will still remember this. Obviously in the 2012 Olympics when they were in London, obviously there was the James Bond bit with the Queen at the time, and that was a whole thing. You know, you had this stunt person dressed as the Queen jumping out of a what was it? It was a helicopter or a plane or something. But it's one of those things where, you know, and like, yeah, in the opening ceremony for the Olympics, like in 2012, I mean, that's still hailed as one of like the greatest opening ceremonies for the Olympics ever, because it was such a display of the things that we've brought to the world from Great Britain in terms of culture and art and things like that, which I think is overlooked sometimes. You know, a lot of people like to say that Britain has no culture. We do. We do. We have created, again, like some of the most globally renowned franchises and worlds that have allowed people a sense of escape. And I think that is what Harry Potter brings, at least to me. I think in terms of the fantasy franchises, obviously with things like Lord of the Rings and Narnia and things like that, you know, it creates a completely separate world. Whereas with Harry Potter, I think one of the reasons it touches so many people is because it's, even though it is still like a magical world in a lot of respects, it exists alongside the real world, the Muggle world, if you will, okay? And I think that's why people still relate and cherish it so much, because in a world that is ever-changing and, you know, the amount of darkness that is in just our normal world anyway, at least for me, like, I've recently got back into Harry Potter. I spent a lot of time kind of away from it in terms of the franchise, and that was something that I did obviously out of choice, especially when everything about J.K. Rowling first came out. I just felt like I was like, oh, this feels a bit icky now. Like, I sort of had the mindset around, like, I'm getting a bit older, maybe I should be focusing on other things, but honestly, fandoms and being a nerd in that way is something that honestly, like, just helps me regulate my brain and my emotions, and honestly brings me so much happiness. Like, my world felt so dull just without my nerdy things, and I feel like we've kind of lost Doctor Who as well. I was a big Whovian as well, which I think I've mentioned a couple times on my channel before, and obviously we've lost that, like, kind of officially this year as well, but I just feel like we were losing it as a franchise, like, over the past few years anyway. If you're a Whovian, you know. And Harry Potter has always remained, I mean, obviously it's had, like, some stuff in it that's like, okay, we don't really know where they're going with that, and obviously I have thoughts anyway about the HBO series and whether or not they should be making it in the first place, but, you know, it was the one thing that kind of stayed constant and, like, consistent, and it was the one world that I could come back to over and over again that still felt like it did when I was 14. And I came to the franchise kind of late. Like, I think I said this in my original HBO trailer reaction video, is that, yeah, growing up, I'd seen the first film like half a dozen times. I'd seen the second and the third film like maybe once, and probably not all the way through because it was just kind of on. And at 14 years old, I was obviously, like, year 9, and a lot of my friends were especially, like, my best friend at the time was really heavily into Harry Potter. He had 2 older brothers, and he'd been to see, like, The Half-Blood Prince in the cinema in 2009, and, you know, he went to see the 2 Deathly Hallows films and stuff, like, even though he was, like, a child, like, they were still taking him, because, again, he had 2 older brothers. Who had followed the franchise from the beginning, and I thought to myself, you know, I really think I'd like this franchise, so I'm just gonna say it was January 2015. It was like a weird New Year's resolution thing that I did, where I went home every day after school, and I was going on those pirate websites, let's be honest, but, like, I watched every film, like, I watched a film a night. And my world was changed. My world was changed. I spent, like, 10 minutes now almost ranting about this, but, like, it's one of those things where, and I've been to the studio tour 3 times now. I'm about to go on my 4th trip in October with my boyfriend Justin, and it's just one thing that I so admire that we created. Again, it's a massive achievement for the British filmmaking industry as well, and I think that's one reason why I love the studio tour so much, is going and seeing just the amount of love and work and just craftsmanship and just genius that went into creating those films and making them look the way they did and function the way they did and everything, and I will always appreciate it in that regard as well. But again, it's just one of those things where it's just such a happy magical world that, again, just helps you to just alleviate a little bit of depression in your life as well. Sometimes, like, that's kind of what it's been doing for me over the past few months and, like, the past sort of 12 months, like, getting back into Harry Potter in a bigger way has really just helped me heal a lot of, like, my inner younger self, and I'm just really glad that I did. I have mixed feelings about the HBO series. I think I talked about it more in my first video. I've been ranting for enough time. So, let's get into this. So, what I wanted to do today, off the back of that rant, as I say, is let's react to some articles about this cast announcement. Now, I support him. With Nicholas Hoult, I've seen him in a few things. I've not seen everything he's ever done. I saw the J.R.R. Tolkien film in 2019. This is before I even really knew who he was. I saw that film, really, really enjoyed it. I saw Mad Max Fury Road that he was in. More recently, I've seen Nosferatu that he was really good in. And I will not lie, when it comes to celebrities, and like specifically like celebrity crushes and stuff, I'm not really of that scene anymore. I think because I'm older and I'm not a teenager anymore, and I see them as just normal human beings, and it's incredibly parasocial to be like thirsting over people who you don't know and or are married with kids. So it is what it is. But he is one of those actors that I just can't help and to look at and just be like, damn, you fine. I don't know. Again, I don't have this with a lot of actors, okay? It's him and Tom Felton. Those are the only two. Who, ironically, obviously, is another one who's related to Harry Potter. But, you know, he's the only other one, okay, that I can look at and genuinely be like, you'd get it, you know? But anyway, regardless, I'm going to go through. So this is the BBC article. We've also got People Magazine, who we love, okay? We love People Magazine, don't we? All the people who watch my Daniel Walter series, we love People Magazine. And we also have the Variety article as well to go through. We're just going to see what different news articles are reporting, the different kind of takes. And then we're going to go through a couple of Instagram posts and some of the comments underneath there. Because I just think that'd be interesting just to see what the press are reporting. And also, and like specifically with the backlash versus just the general public, okay? So let's do this. Okay, so this is the BBC article. So Nicholas Hoult joins the Harry Potter TV show. See the cast so far. So this, I already kind of flicked through this the other day. I will not lie. Oh yeah, he was in the X-Men, like the newer X-Men franchise as well, which I've not watched. We watched when me and my boyfriend did the Marvel marathon that we did this year. We watched the original X-Men, who I'm very excited to see in Avengers Doomsday, by the way. But we didn't watch the new ones because apparently they weren't that good. But we love Nicholas Hoult. Anyway, so he was in X-Men, Superman. Obviously, he's most recently known for playing Lex Luthor in Batman. Sorry, we watched the Robert Pattinson Batman movie last night. We're gonna do a podcast episode on it. So I've got Batman on the brain, Superman, and obviously Mad Max Fury Road, which I already mentioned that we watched. Has been cast in the hotly anticipated Harry Potter TV series. So the English actor 36, which by the way, looking very good for 36. Well, I say that. That's young. If you think the 36 is old, you've got a problem. And, you know, he is peak millennial. So yeah, he's 36. Will play the Hogwarts professor Gilderoy Lockhart, who's portrayed by Sir Kenneth Branagh in the 2002 film. We are going to get into this as well with his age as well. Is actually relevant. When we get into some of the Instagram comment sections, because some people are commenting on his age and whether he should have, like, whether he's too young or like too old and stuff to do with like the book, like how old they say he is in the book. So we're gonna get into this. Then it says, so basically so the TV adaptation of J.K. Rowling's best-selling books will reach screens this Christmas, although Holt will not be seen until season 2. Obviously, yes, because he is a Chamber of Secrets character, as we're all aware. So in the stories, he is a celebrity author of the books, such as Magical Me, before joining Hogwarts as the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. obviously the famously cursed position. We love that. In Harry's second year, which is year 8 for those of us who are outside the UK, who don't really know how it works with the whole first and second year thing. That's just like the posh way of saying year 7, year 8, year 9. Anyway, so HBO announcing casting by quoting the title of Lockhart's biography, one of his famous lines. Yeah, you can read it. Now, how many autographs would you like? He has been cast in season 2. We know that. Yeah, so that's just what they said in the caption of their Instagram post, I guess. There's the famous picture of Aiden. Well, I don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm so sorry. Who is going to be? Oh no, that's the photographer. Sorry. I'm not even gonna. I'm really bad at pronouncing names recently. I don't know what it is. But anyway, so that's the famous picture, obviously, of the guy who's playing Harry. We've seen multiple times. Holt found fame alongside Hugh Grant. We know. So the BBC tends to do this. They tend to go just back into the history of the actor and blah de blah de blah to try and pad out the article with things we already know. So if you don't know how he came up, then yeah, he started in 2002 when Chamber of Secrets first came out, ironically, as a young boy. Yeah, he was, and then as a teenager he was in Skins. I'm so sure we've all seen clips of that somewhere. I do actually want to watch Skins, like the full series, because the clips that I've seen look pretty good. And obviously I wasn't really of the age to be watching that at the time that it came out, so I'd be interested to watch that actually at some point. And then he was in X-Men. Now he's been Lex Luthor, as we mentioned. Yes, he was in he was in The Great as well, which I'm sure we've seen some clips from at some point. And obviously he was in Nosferatu, which was Oscar nominated. He's been nominated for an Emmy. I'm surprised he's not actually won any of these yet, because the things he's been in, he's been pretty good. And then obviously he was in J.R. Tolkien's biopic film, which I remember, again, being very, very good before I even knew who he was, to be fair. There's a picture. Okay, so then they just go into who is playing. To be fair, I don't think any of the other articles do this, at least from not what I've seen when I've flicked through them before filming this video. But like, yeah, so the BBC just go through some of the other people who have already been cast and things like that. So like John Lithgow as Dumbledore, who, by the way, R.I.P. to Michael Gambon, and also Richard Harris as well, who are no longer with us. Obviously, the original 2 actors playing Dumbledore. To be fair, John Lithgow is a pretty good, like, once you've got him kitted up as Dumbledore, he's looking pretty Sir Michael Gambon of it all. So I'm actually, as much as I was kind of nervous at the first when they cast John Lithgow, I'm pretty happy with what we've got going on here. Snape, now, this, I want to know your thoughts about this, because there's a lot of discourse about the Snape casting. I really want to know. To be fair, I think I did talk about this in my first HBO video, but that was back in April. If you want to watch that, go back on my channel. It's not too far away, but yeah, like, I don't know, because there is a lot of stuff in the actual book about how Snape is like pale and like ghost-like and haunting and blah blah blah, like that kind of thing. So, have whatever thoughts you will, but I, for once, do think actually with Snape the race does matter. A lot of the time, I'm not really of that opinion, but when it comes to Snape, I agree with some of those people who were like, well, actually, if you're going with the book definition, it does actually kind of matter a little bit. And let's be honest, nobody's gonna match up to Alan Rickman. Again, R.I.P. There are so many Harry Potter actors who are no longer with us. It's actually so tragic. I am of that camp. You might not be of that camp. Again, I encourage everybody to leave their thoughts in the comments. That's what we're all here to do. McGonagall looks pretty good. Again, R.I.P. to Maggie Smith. This is the thing. I'm like, bro, there's so many people who aren't here with us anymore. I'm interested to see it. To be fair, she looks the part. She does look the part. I am curious as to how she's going to play McGonagall. Just from like her facial expressions and stuff, even in this picture, I'm thinking she's gonna be pretty true to Maggie Smith. I haven't read all the books. I have not read all the books. I read the first 3 as a teenager, and then I got a bit through the 4th one, and then I just kind of flopped off with reading. I think because that was kind of towards the end of high school for me, and also 6th form. I did not really. I had other things to focus on, like exams, so I wasn't really reading as much, but I remember the first 3, like, thinking, okay, well, Maggie Smith did a pretty good job at portraying McGonagall, so let's hope it's the same with Janet McTeer, who is here. I rhymed, that wasn't intentional. And here is Vernon and Petunia. So this is the woman who everyone has gone mad at over, what's her name? Belle Powley has gone crazy over because of the comments she made. Obviously because she'd received a bit of backlash. Obviously because of people not liking J.K. Rowling. And everybody going mad over anyone at all being involved in this series. And she, again, was basically just like, fuck you guys. Well, she didn't say that, but she was basically like, I love Harry Potter. I understand where people are coming from, but, like, I love Harry Potter, and I'm very proud to be part of this, which I respect, okay? I do have to say, I do respect it. You know, if you're going to do something, at least be proud and double down and stuff. Like, it's like, yeah, you've got a pretty big role here, and, like, a pretty big job here, so, yeah. But again, to be fair, when I first saw, like, the way they've got him to look, I mean, true. Isn't it in the books that Petunia is actually blonde? I feel like that is a change in the books. Am I wrong for that? Someone's got to... somebody who remembers the books better than me has got to let me know about that in the comments. But I do seem to remember in the books her being blonde, so that's a good change. She kind of looks a little bit like a... For those who know the Rocky Horror show, like, she looks a little bit like a Janet from Rocky Horror. She's giving Janet. To be fair, they kind of both are giving Brad and Janet, I can't lie. Versus, I feel like the original actors, again, there's another one where we can say, like, R.I.P. is one of the actors. Obviously, the guy who played Vernon is no longer with us. To be fair, he died a while ago. I feel like he died not long after the series ended. If I'm right in that, I think he died in like 2014 or something like that. It wasn't too long after the series ended, I seem to remember. But to be fair, I think we'll have to go off their acting. So, and to be fair, with what I've seen from the trailer, she looks pretty good as Petunia, so we'll have to see. Obviously, Nick Frost is Hagrid. To be fair, again, I was nervous, but seeing him as Hagrid, I'm like, you know what? Fair enough, mate. You look the part. I think he might. To be fair, I think he might do a good job. Is he going to be a Robbie Coltrane? Again, R.I.P. This is the thing. I'm like, we've lost so many good people. And then, of course, when he died, there was that clip. Because it wasn't long after the reunion as well. And obviously there was that clip of him being like, I'm so glad this franchise will be around for so many generations to come. And he was like, of course, I'm not going to be there for it. We were all like, oh. And obviously he died not long after. We were like, oh my god. I feel like he knew. Which is obviously incredibly sad. And no one's going to match up to Robbie Coltrane. I feel like no one's really going to match up to the original actors in a lot of ways, but especially like the older actors. But like it will be fun to see people's new take on it. Again, we are going to be doing a review of all of this stuff, so on our podcast channel, so go and watch that when that comes out. Again, this will be Christmas time, and it will be like into the new year as well. It'll be happy 2027 for us. Warwick Davis is coming back as Flitwick. Now, I forgot about this. When I first flicked through this, I was like, wow. And I was like, oh yeah. Which obviously, fair enough. Like, I'm glad we've at least got one of the original actors back as one of like the older actors. I'm glad. Because he was great, wasn't he? I mean, I suppose he played like a lot of characters as well. He played like obviously a couple of the goblins as well from Gringotts and stuff. He was very good. Okay, so I'm glad that he has returned to the magical world. And he's still quite active in going to like the studio tour events and stuff. There was one not that long ago where he went and it was like in conversation with I think he's got an OBE now as well, so I saw something about that. And then obviously here are the young three actors who are graced with playing the original trio. I am obsessed with the girl playing Hermione called Arabella, by the way, because every time I see somebody called that, I'm like, oh, their parents were Arctic Monkeys fans. Got it. It's every time. But yeah, they look, to be fair, again, they have got the part, like, they've got the look down immensely, like, they all look like the part, which I'm very glad about. And yeah, so that was the BBC article. Moving on to People Magazine, our faves over at People Magazine. I love that their image just has him next to Sir Kenneth Branagh as Lockhart from the first film, from the original film, I should say. And yeah, I'm obsessed. Also, I'm kind of obsessed with Holt's just like, I'm gonna be blonde for a bit era. I don't know. Was that for a role? I forget. Or whether he just wanted to be blonde for a bit. I'm not too sure. But yeah, so obviously this is what Kenneth Branagh looked like, obviously, as Lockhart. We already know. To be fair, he was very good as Lockhart. He was. That's another one where I remember reading the second book as a teenager and thinking, he did a good job. So yeah, again, it says he will join the HBO cast. He's 36. HBO confirmed it on August 11th. We already know, which was exactly 10 days ago, and it's 11/11 as I'm filming this. Everybody make a wish. Damn, that means that everything's gonna go amazing with this video, and it's gonna get loads and loads of views, right? And you're gonna watch till the end, right? That's what that means. Anyway. So then obviously it's doing the normal blah blah blah. So it's the book series, second book, Kenneth Branagh, 2002, blah blah blah. So yeah, then it says he's joined the cast alongside John Lithgow and all these things. And this is interesting because People Magazine actually go into a little bit deeper around like some of the backlash and stuff. And obviously a year after the reboot was announced in 2023, Daniel Radcliffe, who obviously the original Harry Potter, said he wouldn't be participating in the series. He looked forward to seeing the new direction he would take with a new cast. And then there's a quote from him that says, like the rest of the world, I'm very excited to watch as an audience member. Who, by the way, of course, I wonder if he's going to introduce Harry Potter to his son in this way versus the original series, because I saw an interview clip of him where apparently like people ask him if his son knows he's Harry Potter, and apparently they were around and there was like a poster or something with him on it, or like they saw a DVD or something in a shop, and he was like, who's that? And his son didn't know, and he was like, listen, the longer I can go just being his dad and not Harry Potter as well will be great, which I respect very much. So yeah, so he told E! News in May 2024, I don't know if it would work having us, have us to do anything in it. Which I agree. I will say that. I say that, obviously, with Warwick Davis coming back, it would have been fun to have some of the older actors come back as teachers, but unfortunately, of course, a lot of them are no longer with us, which is very unfortunate. So again, with the older actors, I'm very excited to see what they bring to the role as well. And yeah, it will just overall be very interesting. So in June 2024, they announced the new series will be written by blah blah blah, this new woman. Yeah, they go into some different details, which is interesting. And then they have him in the 2026 Met Gala. I didn't even know he was at the 2026 Met Gala, I won't lie. I had no idea. So, but he looks pretty good. Obviously, still sporting the buzz cut after Lex Luthor. But yeah, but it's interesting that I don't think that BBC said anything about. Oh, they did. Or did they? No, they didn't. Here we go. Yeah, so this is a bit actually missed at the bottom of this article. I do apologize. So they do actually mention, obviously, some of the comments that Rowling's made about their opinions and views and stuff, and strongly always denied accusations of transphobia. And most of the TV show's adult members have been have had a lot of questions in recent years about whether they support her stance. So actually, it was interesting. So Belle Powley, they just actually mentioned at the bottom here that Belle Powley, who plays Petunia, told the Telegraph she strongly disagrees with the author, but is still involved in the series, obviously. Which again, fair enough. She was like, that's essentially what she said. I remember now. She was like, yeah, I really don't agree with J.K. Rowling, but I love Harry Potter, so I'm very proud to be part of this. Which, you know, again, I respect, because again, I think Harry Potter, it's a shame what's been going on with J.K. Rowling, but I think that it's still again, it's such a magical world that provides so much joy and escapism for so many people that, you know, it's you can't ignore it. You can only go so far, like, ignoring it. I know a lot of people are like, grow it up. Harry Potter's for kids. Fuck you to Miriam Margolyes, by the way, who is like, it's a bit weird that these adults are still obsessed with Harry Potter in the interviews that she does. I'm like, girl, fucking get off your high horse, like, please. Because she's like, I was very proud to be part of it, but, like, get over yourself. And I'm like, you're just rude, like, shut the fuck up. If anyone else, like, really doesn't like her, like, she really rubs me up the wrong way, I do have to say. And a lot of the things she says, she's just, like, very rude and kind of ungrateful. Anyway, but yeah, so at the bottom of the People magazine article, obviously, then it also mentions that Rowling has sparked a lot of controversy with her views and stuff. And despite this, Rowling is involved with the production of the Uncut series and is one of its executive producers. You know what? Fair enough. I like that, because at least she then can make... Because again, I think a lot of the discourse around this series has also been like... It needs to be like more... like closer to the books, right? And this is a lot of the thing that they've been championing with this series, is that it's closer to the books. They're able to make it closer to the books because they have more kind of room to do so, with it being a TV series, which I know in my original video that I made about the trailer, a lot of people in the comments were saying, like, you have no idea, like, at the time, how us millennials were really annoyed at the original films because of how much they cut out of the books. And I was having a conversation with my boyfriend Justin, who's 35, and actually, like, was telling me, like, he used to... I didn't even really know this until we had the conversation, but I was like... Because I knew he liked Harry Potter, but obviously with us going to the studio tour, I was like, you know, what... Like, how close were you, like, to, like... The franchise, like, at the time, because he was like right there, you know, like Evanna Lynch and Bonnie Wright, who obviously played Luna and Ginny, are also 35. Like, they are like the same, so he's literally like the same age as some of the cast and stuff. So he's like right in like the peak, like he was the generation of Harry Potter, right? And he was getting the books like the week they came out. Actually, it was interesting. He got some stuff back from his parents' house recently. And he, like, in a box that he was going through, found a couple of... To be fair, they were the US editions of the first two books, but it was like, yeah, it was the first editions of like the first two books. It was just it wasn't the Bloomsbury publisher. It was the American publisher. I can't remember the name of it now. Scholastic, was it? I think it was Scholastic, I can't remember, but like it would, like, with the original book covers and stuff, which was like so fucking cool. I was like, oh my god, no way you still have those. And he was saying that as well. He was there like, yeah, like, I was annoyed at some of the things that they cut out of the films from the books as well. And especially, to be fair, he did kind of criticize Dan Radcliffe's acting. He was like, Harry in the book, to be fair, I did back him up a little bit on this. I was like, because he was like, Harry in the books is like angry and like so sassy all the time, and Dan Radcliffe's acting just was not the same as that. And I was like, you know what? All credit to Dan Radcliffe. I think he was a great Harry, but I also agree. Yeah, like even from like reading the first like 3 books, I was like, yeah, Harry is a sasspot in the first in the books, and it wasn't quite like that in the films. So I'm interested to see how like this new Harry takes on the role, but also yeah, like the way they're able to make it more book accurate. But yeah, so they touch on that. Defending she's denied being transphobic and just says she's pro-woman. We already know. Holt recently starred as Lex Luthor. We already know. Okay, so that was People magazine, who, to be fair, I think because they've not got a lot of stuff to really go on, they're just being like, let's pad this out with something. So that was that. Let's see what Variety says. So this is a different picture of him. To be fair, I think he looks a lot better with dark hair. I think he does. I love the blonde, but the dark hair is killing it. And also it's interesting that they're putting him again beside Kenneth Branagh, who obviously played him in the original film. It's interesting because when we go over to the Instagram, some people have made like an AI sort of mock-up of what he's going to look like in the costume. And let me tell you, it's pretty damn good. Anyway, but we will get to that in a minute. So yeah, that's him. I think that's him at the Superman premiere, I think, because it's got like the Warner Brothers logo behind him. So I'm thinking that's what that is. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. So yeah, this is the Variety article. So again, it's been cast in the Harry Potter series. We already know it's coming out on Christmas Day. Amazing. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and it's been already renewed for a new season because HBO have a bunch of money, and obviously that they want to go through this. Although, have you seen that they've scrapped? They were gonna do like a Marauders spin-off, so obviously based on like James Potter, Lupin, Sirius Black. We already know, and they scrapped that in favor of this. Have you guys seen those headlines? Which, okay, interesting. I am kind of mad at that, actually. I think, although to be fair, we've had some pretty good fan films over the years that have covered like the Marauders and stuff, so it's not like we're completely devoid of any of that kind of content. You know, I think there is like a fan film called The Marauders on YouTube from about 10 years ago, I want to say, that is incredibly good. If you know, if I can find it, I might leave it in the pinned comment, like the description or something. So I will try and do that. But yeah, I just think that is a shame. Obviously, they want to go all in on this again to make it more book accurate and make it, you know, the thing that everyone's, you know, anticipating. But yeah, it was just interesting to see those headlines. But yeah, obviously, so Lockhart's the central character of Chamber of Secrets. Well, he's sort of the central character. He's one of the central characters. I'd say the central character of Chamber of Secrets is Tom Riddle, really. But hey, Lockhart is also, yeah, obviously big character, because obviously, spoilers, he's a fraud. And yeah, he's never actually done any of the things that he says in his books. So yeah, it was obviously played by excuse me, that's Sir Kenneth Branagh to you, actually. they forgot he's a knight now. In 2002, that's who played him. And then obviously they go on to say he played in the X-Men and Superman, blah blah blah, Mad Max Fury Road, Nosferatu, The Menu. He was in The Menu as well, again something I've not seen, and he was in Skins as well, we already know. He's repped by the... Why do we need to know who his agents are? I don't know. So filming on the second season of Harry Potter is due to begin this fall. Amazing. So autumn is what that means. Those of you who aren't American. And obviously the guy playing Harry, they go over to the original trio. Amazing. Who writes it? We don't really care. And they don't mention at all about J.K. Rowling. Wow, Variety, you don't mention it at all? Wow, that's interesting. See, this is why I wanted to go through several articles, because one, you don't trust one source alone, you check several. But also, yeah, I wanted to see if like how they covered the J.K. Rowling of it all and the backlash. So the BBC obviously mentioned Belle Powley's comments. People magazine vaguely just mention it at the end, and Variety don't mention it at all. Interesting. So, so David Heyman. Interesting. So David Heyman's Heyday Films is actually still involved in this. That's interesting. To be fair, I think I did actually see that David Heyman was back doing Potter, to be fair, which is good because he was the most solid out of all of like the directors and stuff. So I'm actually glad he's back on board, because he was the backbone of what made those films that he was part of, especially like towards the end of the franchise, what they were. So yeah, that was the news articles. Anyway, I'm sort of disappearing into the articles. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and stay this way. So let's go over to Instagram now. Are you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? Are you ready for this? Boom. Like I said, like a sort of AI mock-up of what he's gonna look like. I saw this. So this was the first thing that came. This came on my feed a couple days ago. This is from Triangle Films, the account, and obviously we just made the announcement. My jaw hit the floor. I was like, oh damn, okay. Again, he's the only actor that really does that to me, okay? No other actor is like this. Again, apart from like Tom Felton, but he, we already know. But like again, I don't know what it is. Okay, I don't know what it is. He's the only one that does that to me. And yeah, he looks pretty good as Lockhart. As I say, this is giving Lockhart. They cast him well. I can already see just with this mock-up that he's gonna do really well. So yeah, let's go through the comments a little bit of this, because they're interesting, and this is what I wanted to do, is kind of go through, because obviously at the top you have like En Route Collective, which is a like clothing brand that does like corsets and sort of more fantasy stuff. This might be their best casting yet. To be fair, I agree. Very good casting. And the one underneath is literally someone being like, at least it would make more sense of girls having a crush on him. Hey, listen, no shame to those people who were having crushes on Ken Branagh at the time, okay? Because I'm sure there were people. Although it does make more sense to have somebody who's a little bit younger. So I said, finally a good casting. What do you mean? Sorry, Drake, Drake, that's funny. Sure, with Aunt Harry, you're okay, point. And where was the comment I wanted to see? Here we go. Oh yeah, so we've got somebody who's mad. Please, speak for yourself. There is a whole generation not going to watch this. Yeah, okay. Sure. You really speak for a whole generation? I think not. True. At least, almost as if you're not the target demographic. Exactly. To be fair, here's the thing. And again, this goes back to how protective I am over, like, the original series, especially, like, when you go to the studio tour and just see, again, like, how much work and passion and love went into the original series. It kind of makes me a little sad that a lot of the younger generations are going to grow up with this version of Harry Potter and not the original version of Harry Potter, because I suspect there's going to be a lot of CGI used in this versus like the practical effects that were being used, as I say, because obviously, again, it was the early 2000s, CGI was still quite new. So, as much as they were using fantastic CGI in some of the other, in some scenes, a lot of it was still, like, practical animatronics and prosthetics and things like that, which, again, if you go to the studio tour, it explains all of that, has everything on show, I fucking love it there, and I'm so excited to go back. But, yeah, like, I'm nervous about how much CGI they're going to use and how polished everything looks, and that was something I said in my trailer reaction. I was like, everything looks way too polished in this, which is concerning for me, but anyway. So this was the comment I wanted to get to right here. So, no, right. Isn't he a bit young? I mean, Lockhart was meant to be supposed to be a proper adult, right? I'm afraid to look how old he is in the first actor at the time. Somebody, oh no, and then they replied to themselves and said, yeah, I looked. He was 40, whereas Holt is 36, so that shouldn't check out. And somebody said underneath, and the character was supposed to be 28 in the book. Now, listen, I agree. This might be one of those things that people were a little bit mad about at the time, but let's be honest, the original series was like, let's get every major, massive, like, British actor we possibly can in this franchise, and they did, and it was amazing because of that, and we loved that so much, and it's part of what made it so magical and such, like, a big standout again for, like, the British filmmaking industry, and it was just, like, such a landmark that they were able to do this. But yeah, so I mean, I didn't know this until I was going through these comments. So Sir Ken Branagh was 40 in 2002 when they filmed this. Well, when this came out, sorry. Which, you know, yeah, a little bit old. I mean, to be fair, when I read that, I was like, that's why I clocked it being a little strange, because, like, in the original film, he looks 40. Let's be honest, he looks a little older, and so when older girls like, you know, like when Hermione's like swooning over him and she's like 12, you know, like it's one of those things where you just have to be like, really, girl? He does look a little old. Whereas with Nicholas Hoult, it's gonna make more sense. I feel like he's passing. He could pass as like a 28-year-old, in my opinion. He passes as younger, so he's got a little baby face, so it passes, right? And I feel like, yeah, the casting, as much as Sir Ken Branagh did a fantastic job as Lockhart in the original 2002 film, Nicholas Holt's going to do amazing, is what I'm thinking. But again, let me know your thoughts about that in the comments. Oh my god, can't wait for Sirius. You know what? I can't wait for Sirius either. That's going to be amazing. And in the third film, when they cast the third series, sorry, when they cast Sirius, oh my god, that's going to be great. Because obviously they can't have Gary Oldman anymore. God bless his soul. But he is like, God, how old will he be now? Pushing 70, if not over. We'd love Gary Oldman, but yeah, my guy, you're going to be too old. You're going to be too old. Someone said more accurate than Snape. Let's see what people say. I don't fucking care, right? Again, so there's going to be a lot of people being like, he's meant to be younger. Holt passes, okay? He passes. And yeah, so this is... Okay, guys, is this AI a real bitch? It literally has a label saying AI, and you can quite clearly tell it's AI. Come on. Come on now. A lot of people, to be fair, are just very happy with it. They're like, oh my god, he's so handsome, he's so cute. Wow. Oh my god, we have another one that's like worse this time. That is not the best AI translation, actually. I'm not a fan of that at all. I think they literally took that, put it in this, and put it into ChatGPT and was like, make him Lockhart, and that's what they got, and that's not that good. That is not that good at all. Yeah, what's this person say? I fully understand why Hermione outlined all his lessons in Little Hearts. Yeah, well, exactly. This is what I'm saying. With Nicholas Hoult, it would make more sense than it would with Sir Ken Branagh, okay? It makes more sense. It just does. A lot of these obviously popping up at first are news articles and understanding all this. To be fair, yeah, I'm getting a lot of people being like, I understand why Hermione would have a crush on him. I'm seeing some pretty positive stuff here. I am seeing some pretty positive stuff. I am... Oh my god, wait, look at that horrific translation. What the hell is that? I don't understand. No, we're going off that immediately. I'm actually interested to see. So this is Entertainment Tonight. Let's see. This is awful. He's way too young and handsome. Are you fucking kidding me? That's literally the whole point. That's literally the whole fucking point. Okay, but someone's saying in the books his age is never mentioned. I don't know where that person got it from then. I have no idea. So, oh, right. We know when his birthday was. That's why. So that would make him 28, 29 by the end of the second book. So, yeah. And again, he passes. if you didn't know that man was 36 and you told me that man was 28, I believe you. I would believe you. Someone said, oh, that's disappointing. Here we go. This is what we want. Someone said, truly, absolutely, yes, I really thought he was an actor with morals. Boycott the show. This is the thing. I'm like, guys, some people just like Harry Potter, alright? Just, Jesus. I mean, hell, I understand if you want to boycott this, you know, that's completely alright, 100%, but just allow us to be excited. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, this is, but again, a lot of people are very happy. We've got someone else here. No, not you, Nicholas, too. By now, any actor is watching J.K. Rowling. Yeah, but this is the thing. Not all of them are. A lot of them will be very outspoken, actually say, like, I don't really agree with J.K. Rowling. Wasn't it John Lithgow almost didn't do it because of J.K. Rowling and then decided to do it anyway? I feel like I saw that. So a lot of them, like will be like, yeah, we don't agree with JK, but we love the franchise and we love the world and we're so honored to be asked to be part of it. So, you know, like, for me, you can pass that, and it you know, it's fine. Yes, there's a lot more people mad in the comment sections about this. A lot more people who were mad about this, 100%. Yeah, so, but again, like, that's also contrasted with a lot of people actually being very happy about this, which I am excited about, and I think he will do a great job as Lockhart, so I'm actually very excited to see what he's going to bring to the role. But yeah, so I wanted to, again, just go through a few things. Again, no matter what you want to say, we've been going at this almost an hour, no matter what you want to say in the comments about this, go ahead, feel free. It's a free country, we celebrate free speech. If you want to rant all you want in the comment sections about this, go ahead, okay? This is a safe space. But yeah, and please do let me know. We want to have an open and honest discussion about all this. Again, personally, Harry Potter has meant so much to me over the years that I can never fully depart from it, because it's brought me too much joy. It has brought me too much joy and friendship and just admiration over the years, especially for the original franchise. I am curious and nervous as to how they're going to handle this new era of it all, but I'm excited at the same time to see where they go with it. So we will be watching it. Again, if you want to go over to the Media Illiterates podcast, again, this will be in the description, the link to go and subscribe. We will be going and reacting to the HBO series when it comes out over on this channel, so if you want to go and subscribe to that, that would be great. And I will try and find that Marauders fan film. I'll leave it in the pinned comment as well, because I remember really, really enjoying that. It was a very well-made fan film at the time. And again, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let me know what your thoughts are on the HBO series and Nicholas Hoult being cast as Lockhart in the comments. We would love to know. And I will see you guys in my next video.